Hello, Scrappy Ghoul friends! Welcome to my new setup. I'm so excited about this. The only issue is I still am working on my cameras. The iPad is a little bit choppy, but the overhead one should be a little bit better. Welcome to my October version of Make With Me Monday. I am super excited to show you how to create origami paper stars. This is something that I already have a YouTube video for, but we'll be using my Tricks and Treats collection, which will make it completely different. So if you ever have any questions, I do have comments open up on my computer, but I can only see like 4 at a time. So if I miss your question, just type it real big in all caps, question, and I will try to reply as fast as I can. Remember, the replay will be available, so I'm going to demonstrate how to do 1 or 2, just depends on the time, 1 or 2 origami stars, and then bring in the rest already folded to finish the layout. And then in the replay, you can pause, rewatch, and like I said, I also have another YouTube video showing how to do these stars as well. So maybe you'd like that one even better. Thank you so much for joining from all over the world. It is so fun to have you all here. If you could give this video a quick thumbs up or like, whatever it is these days, I'd super duper appreciate that. Get more people who love scrapbooking here. So, yep, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So watch this. With a click of a button, I can go from facing me to my camera above, which is so fun. I do have to keep this to right about at an hour long. I am going to my oral surgeon today. Finally, I had an MRI back in like, I don't know, July or August or something, and we're finally going over the results. But if you've watched my past couple Make With Me Mondays, I have found a solution that is working for my headaches and migraines, which is doing hormone therapy. So anyway, good morning, good morning. Here are a couple examples of layouts with these origami stars. The first one that I made back in, well, we were living in Washington. So I made this back in 2016. And this was my first time trying the origami stars. You'll notice they are quite a bit thicker than typical embellishments that I use, maybe about as thick as foam stickers. And then here is the one that I've based our sketch on. Oh, I saw Christy's comment about Florida, another hurricane, which we're flying to Florida on Sunday. We're going to Disney World. So I feel so bad for all the people who live there and have to deal with hurricane after hurricane after hurricane, but I hope it's not as bad as they're predicting. Crossing my fingers, my toes, my eyes, and prayers. But as I was saying, here is the layout that this sketch is based on, and it's also the layout that we're going to create today. Just some origami stars. Friends, these origami stars are a bit tough on the hands to make the smaller you create them. So I will be using 5-inch paper squares. You can see on here some of the stars are a little bit bigger. I think I might have started with 6 inches, 6-inch squares. I do recommend trying it maybe with printer paper first, which is a little bit thinner. And then once you get the hang of it, start cutting the paper squares smaller. Mine are 5 inches, and it takes me about 6 minutes to create each star. But I've made like dozens and dozens of them at this point. But I encourage you to give it a try. You know, you never know until you try. If you enjoy making them, then make all the stars at 5 inches, or maybe make fewer at 6 inches. So without further ado, I want to bring in my background paper that I'm going to use. I'm using my Tricks and Treats collection, which I know is so hard to find. I even just last night a friend texted me that a store had some tricks and treats in stock, and so I actually bought some of paper 2 because I am out. I didn't receive enough of paper 2. So check out Frank Garcia Studio and the store that had paper 2. Let me see what it was called. I just have the say, Picture This, I believe. The site is called Picture This, and it's in Wisconsin. So that store had some of paper 2, which I haven't been able to find anywhere. But yeah, I apologize that Tricks and Treats has been so hard to find. We grossly underestimated how much people would love it. And I can't blame you. I love it too. This is paper number 11. The A side is pink with all these cute icons, and the B side is this teal with all of the stars. I want to use the star side. Yes, Evelyn, like the stars. I put a warning up in the description of the YouTube. I said, these are hard to make at 5 inches. I think it'd be a little easier the bigger you go, but yeah. Take breaks and have a bone folder or scoring tool at the ready because this will become your best friend. So this will be my background, and I am going to set this layout aside. I'll have this layout maybe right here. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining wherever you are in the world. Let me see if I can pop this up on the screen really quick. Well, no, I'm going to do that once we get to that point. I want to show you, which one did I want to demo with? Paper number 3. So let me grab paper 3, number 3. Okay, so I want to do my demonstration with paper number 3, which I've already cut into and I've used for various projects, but I want to cut a 5-inch square from this side, and I also want one from the B side, but it looks like I'll need to cut another square for that side because I don't have enough on this one. So we want to start, friends, with a 5-inch square. I am going to zoom my camera in so that we can see this up close and personal. But first, 5-inch square. I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to zoom my camera in. I have to turn it off of manual focus and then zoom in. Refocus. Did it refocus? It looks like it. So do I want to get, no, that's good. We'll just leave it here. Turning manual focus back on so it doesn't get all blurry on me. Okay. And here we go. The side that I want showing, I have face down. So this is going to become a black star, a black with these moons in the end. Good morning, good morning. I might washi tape my background in place because it'll keep moving around and I don't want that. So I'm gonna grab some washi tape. Might as well use some Tricks and Treats washi tape, right? Just gonna washi tape this onto my surface so that it doesn't keep shifting around as we're folding our origami stars. Putting a little washi tape on each corner, which is out of view because I've zoomed in, but that's what I'm doing is I'm adding washi tape to my background so it doesn't keep moving around. I've got lots of my design team members here. So fun to have you here. Friends near and far. Bonjour. Okay. I have a 5-inch pattern paper square. I have the side that I want eventually showing face down. So paper has a grain, which means if you gently fold it, it's a bit harder to fold it from this way versus this way. my paper, I can feel it's a lot easier for it to fold like this. So I do recommend finding that paper grain and going with that. It just makes things a little easier. First thing we want to do is fold the bottom edge up to the top and crease it. We are going to crease every single thing that we do. It's just going to give it a nice crisp look, and the more perfect, I don't like saying that word perfect, but the more perfect your folds and creases are, the more perfect your star comes out. But practice makes perfect. It's going to take a few tries to get these right. The next thing we want to do is fold this bottom left corner up to the top edge. So we're going to create a triangle. What's important is this here in the corner. You want it to be even Steven. Fold that over and crease. And then again, if I'm going too fast, I do have a secondary YouTube video showing you how to do this, and this video will also be available for replay. Okay, open it up and then fold this top left corner down to the bottom. I'm going to create another triangle. Okay, so top left corner down to the bottom edge and crease. Open it back up. Now we want to take this bottom right corner. It's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see it here. We're going to fold this bottom right corner to the center of this X that we just made. So you have to see in the center of these creases that we just did, take the bottom right corner and fold it to that intersection and crease that right edge. Now we want to fold this edge right here over to this edge. So just follow along with the video. Fold this left edge over to the right edge, and it's going to create kind of a cone shape right here. Okay. I feel like I might be forgetting something. Have I forgotten a step? I really should have made one of these this morning, huh? And then, no, I think that's right. I think we fold it back on itself. No, oh, that's it. I haven't made a mistake, don't worry. There is one more step before we trim things off. Okay, so it's easier to like flip it upside down like this. So you have your cone pointed down, and then we're going to grab this top right corner and this edge and align it with this edge. So it's easy to just see, fold this top edge over to this edge of that kind of cone shape and crease it. Already, it's tough to do this. The pattern paper is pretty thick. If you want to start out with a larger square, it just has to be square in shape. Okay, so now we're going to fold it back on itself. So this division, this line right here, just fold it back onto itself and crease it. Let me show you what this looks like. This is the front side. You can see we've got this kind of cone shape, all these different angles. And on the back side, again, lots of wonky angles. What we want to do is grab a good pair of scissors, that can go through all of these layers. And this first diagonal line right here on the cone, we're going to trim right off. So using that diagonal line as a guide, snip off everything above. And now the whole point of all of this initial folding was to create a pentagon. A pentagon has 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we need to start with a pentagon to make our star. So the next step is to fold each, so I say in half, but it's kind of hard to fold a pentagon in half because it has 5 sides. So what I'm going to do is just bring the bottom edge up to the top left edge. So bottom edge up to the top left edge and crease. These aren't new folds. These have already been folded already, but we just want nice crisp lines. So again, fold the bottom edge up to the top left and crease. Open it back up. Rotate, fold the bottom edge up to the top left, crease. 2 more times. Fold the bottom edge up to the top left and crease. and fold the bottom edge up to the top left and crease. So we've got all of our creases nice and crisp. The next thing, we're going to create 5 new folds. We're going to bring the bottom edge up to these lines and keep this center score line centered as a reference. So let me just demonstrate. I'm folding the bottom up, keeping this center crease aligned, and once these corners meet these fold marks, these creases, that's when you know it's ready to be creased at the bottom. And I'm going to do that 5 times. So open it back up, rotate, take this bottom edge, and again, we're going up to these crease marks from these 2 points. So fold the bottom up with the center crease aligned, and then once the corners touch those crease marks, fold the bottom. Open it back up, that's 2, we have 3 more. So fold the bottom up to the crease marks of these corners with the center crease aligned, and once those corners are touching those crease marks, crease the bottom. Open it back up. Again, bottom up to those diagonal crease marks from the corners with my center aligned, and open. I have 1 more to do. So this bottom, keep the center aligned, and once the corners are touching those crease marks, let me get this one centered. I use my fingers initially and then bring in my bone folder to crease it. The next step is 5 more folds. So we're going to start on the left. We're going to partially fold it over and then hold it with your left hand and use your right finger to bring up the bottom. And what we're trying to do is get this crease inside the middle. And luckily, it kind of naturally wants to do this. You just have to make sure this corner part is jutting out, and then you crease something you can't even see. The crease is inside here, so we're creasing this fold inside. And I'm going to repeat that 4 more times. Open it back up, rotate, fold the left side over, and then use your finger, your right hand, to start bringing the bottom edge up. And you're looking for this point to jut out to the left side. And what we're doing is creasing something that's hidden underneath. Okay, rotate, fold the left side over, bring the bottom edge up with that corner jutting out. And the crease you want is right in here. So crease that. A couple more times, I think. Fold the left edge over, bring the bottom edge up with that point jutting out to the left. This crease is already made for you down here at the bottom. So it's just this inside crease that we're getting. 1 more time. Fold, oh, I already did this one? Yes, I already did this one. No, I didn't. I can feel it. So fold the left side over, bring the bottom up until that point is jutting out, and crease. I believe that's all 5. Let me just make sure. Yep. Okay, so this part might be the trickiest part. I'm going to grab a pencil really quick so you can see something important that really helped me with this part. I have creases now. Don't do this in real life. I'm just drawing to show you the pentagon that has now been folded inside. So there are crease marks right along here that show a pentagon. Okay, that's just for demonstration because I'm going to fold the sides up, and if you can get them going to create this pentagon, that's the shape that you're looking for inside. If you've done all of your folds correctly, it's now going to fold in on itself, just like this. Let me show you that 1 more time. This is definitely the hardest part for me when I'm making these, just to get everything going. But I think being able to visualize this pentagon, because that's where you want your edges to start folding and collapsing on themselves. Okay, so you can see the pentagon. I've got my sides going up, and then just start pressing, and it should just collapse in on itself. So that part definitely takes the most finagling. This is why you want your creases to be nice and crisp so that it folds in on itself. I do like to give it another once over with my bone folder. So this is what our star looks like at this point. I might even zoom in a bit more since now it's even smaller. So just a sec, friends. Okay, now we want to flip it over, and this is where it gets really tough because there's so many layers. We can do it. All right, grab one of the points of this pentagon on the back, and we want to fold it up to the point in the middle, and we're basically folding this triangle in half to create the points of our stars. So again, grab one of the points of the pentagon, fold it up to the center point, and fold it, crease it so that this point is being folded in half. And then really press it with your bone folder. Rotate to the next point. So bring this point up to the center, and we're going to fold it so this point, this triangle is folded in half, and give it a good crease. It's tough. It's tough, my friends. We can do it though. Rotate, bring this point up to the center, and then you're folding it so this triangle is folded in half. We've got two more. Rotate, bring this point up to the center, and fold and get the crease so that this point is folded in half. I have to bring mine up a tad bit more if I can. And crease it. Oh, my hands, you can see the veins popping out because I'm using my muscles. Last one. So this one is a little strange because the point is already tucked underneath, but you do just have to grab it and fold it up to the middle and just kind of tuck things underneath, but you just want to do the same thing. It's just a little hard to access, but bring the bottom point up to the center, fold this triangle in half, and there you have it, my friends. Your first star is done. Because of time, because I have to leave like right around 10 o'clock for my appointment, I am just going to demonstrate one. But friends, if you joined in late, the replay will be available so you can rewatch how to do that star. And then I do have a secondary YouTube video from a few years ago showing how to create this layout from start to finish, which has the origami stars. I am going to bring in all of my stars and then zoom back out. So friends, each one of these takes, well, at the end it was taking me about 6 minutes to create each one. So it was quite a time investment, and my hands were killing me at the end. But just take breaks. Don't do it all in one go. Zooming out so we can see our layout. Refocus. Okay, just one sec. The button is a little sticky. There we go. And let me bring in this helpful papers and which sides that I made mine from. This is way more than you need. You do not need, I think I made one from all 24. Well, maybe not the haunted house one, but I made a star from basically every single pattern. And in the end, if you want to make yours just like the sketch, you only need 12. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 stars, and I made a lot. But over there on the left-hand side of your screen, which is so fun, gotta love this new technology, it shows you and tells you which paper and which sides that I am using for a total of 12 stars. You can make more, you can make less, totally depends on you and your style. I was gonna say something else. Of course, you could change it up What was I going to say? Oh, I had a thought and then it just escaped. Oh, that's okay. All right, so I want to show you which papers that I did cut them from, did make my stars from. So I did the A side. Oh, I remember this little handy dandy info square is also in the description of the video. So it also says which side and which paper. So this thing on the left is going to disappear, but it's in the description. So just click show more and it'll tell you all of those pattern papers. But I'll also show you right now. So I want one from the A side of paper 1, one from the B side of paper 1. So the A side is floral, the B side has these miniature pumpkins. From paper number 3, so I didn't use paper number 2, which is the tags, all those super duper cute tags. From paper number 3, this is the star I just did. So I want a star from the A side and a star from the B side. So I'm going to move the ones that I'm not using off to the side. Oh, that fell on the floor. From paper number 4, I want one from just the A side, which are these black leaves over orange. So that's this one right here. Black leaves over orange. Nothing from the B side. It's a super cute spider web. Oh, I did do that one. Paper A. Oh no. Oh, I made it, but I'm not using it. I was like, why? Okay, I made one, but I'm not using it. So that's one that you don't have to do. I skipped paper number 5. I can't remember what the pattern is right now, but from paper number 6, I did the A side, which is the stitches, and the B side, which are these ghosties. So the A side, orange stitches, and the B side, ghosties. Paper number 7, so here is the A side with all of the cute haunted houses. And then the B side is this beautiful ombre, so it goes from yellow to orange to pink. So I cut a 5-inch square from this yellow section to create this yellow star. I needed a pop of yellow on my background. I did not use this star that I made, which is the same as the background, because I wanted some contrast, so I'll just leave that one. From paper number 8, which has kind of the Haunted Mansion style wallpaper, the black icons over gray, I did one from the A side and from the B side, which reminds me of Beetlejuice. So it's these purple and black stripes. Almost done. So paper 11, which is the super cute pink side. I did one from the A side, but again, not the B side because I wanted contrast. Skipped over paper 10, which is that paper that says Halloween. And then last but not least, paper number 12, I made a star from the B side. So this one right here. I'm going to go back to this. Remember, this description box is going to disappear, but they are in the description of the video. Perfect. So I'm going to make some space on my desk. Don't need these papers anymore because I've made my stars, and then the rest of these, so you can see I made a bunch more, but I don't need these ones. So I'll save these for a different project. What is next? Oh, that plate. The next thing we need is something round that is approximately 9 inches across. So whether it's a plate, or maybe you cut a circle, or maybe you have a circle making tool, you want something that is about 9 inches across. Grab a pencil, and according to our sketch, we have it slightly to the left of center. You could make this centered if you want. I love that look. Goodness knows I love a good wreath layout. But for this one, going to have it off-centered, so going to draw it right around here, maybe. It's not going to be exactly the same as ones I've made before, and that's okay. So place your 9-inch round circle template, use a pencil. How's everybody doing? Let me know in the comments how you're doing. Have you made some of these before? Are you excited to try them? Are you going to use tricks and treats, or are you going to use something that's more readily available? A different Halloween collection. All right, the next thing I want to do is just start placing my stars. I'm not going to glue them down. I just want to figure out the placement first. So when I'm placing these stars, I like to have contrasting colors or variation in color. So I try not to have two of the same color next to each other. So spread out my darker ones, spread out the lighter ones. So lighter ones would be like the pink and the white, the cream and the yellow, and the darks would be the grays and the blacks, and the purple. The orange is also pretty dark. You can see that these stars are very dimensional. One thing that I'm going to do, that I plan to do, is to machine stitch over them, and that's going to flatten them a bit. If you aren't planning to machine stitch over these, then I do recommend adding liquid glue inside the middles, maybe even inside these creases of the star, and pressing them down. Otherwise, they're like a ½ inch big, which I love, but that also takes up a lot of room inside your scrapbooks. And I know that 12 by 12 albums are expensive and you don't want to fit just 5 pages in them. So we try to be mindful of our very dimensional elements. So I'm going to machine stitch over them. That will flatten them. If you're not going to machine stitch, do add glue inside and press until they dry. Here's my florally one with a cute little spider. Let's have the spider dangling down, gray and white. So I like the placement of these. If there is a direction on some of these stars, like these pumpkins, I want them facing up. A lot of these aren't directional, so it doesn't really matter. Maybe these moons can be facing this direction. The icons face up. Ghosties facing up. Like this. Have you ever found a great eraser for erasing on pattern paper? I dislike the smudge. You know, that is something that I also deal with. I've just found that having a little eraser like this, I think works okay. That's a good question. All right, I'm going to use some temporary adhesive. Oh, I think, no, it's not out. It's my Scotch tape that's out. I'm going to add a little bit onto the back middle and press these into place and then machine stitch over them. Now, I haven't practiced machine stitching over these, so it could be a fail during this live, but I'm going to give it a whirl. I'm going to bring it in. I'm not going to go over my sewing machine details. I've brought in my sewing machine actually last month, I believe, for the September Make With Me Monday, and in that video I kind of go over which machine I'm using, the needle, but if you have specific questions in the comments, I can try and answer them. But if you're curious about sewing on paper and the things that I use, do go back and watch my previous Make With Me Monday. They are all saved in a playlist, so you don't have to go searching too far. I'm going to have to hold these in place, I think, when I'm stitching, because this temporary adhesive is, in fact, very, very temporary and not sticking very well. So this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to figure this out as we go. I have just a couple more. It would also be fun to use black thread instead of white. I'm just going to use white. And I'm quite nervous. Not gonna lie, I'm like thinking this through in my head. Is this gonna work or not? Let's check out the spacing, if any of the stars need to be moved around. I've got quite a bit more space between these ones, I feel like, than the ones on the edge. The ones on the edge that are hanging off, I will eventually trim off that excess, give them a haircut. All right, so let's see what happens with our our sewing. I'm gonna bring in my machine. I will just tell you that I use a Brother LX 2500. I don't think it's available anymore, but there is one that is very, very similar, and it's not too expensive. I don't use this on fabric or anything. This is only for sewing on paper. I have to rethread my machine, and everybody's machine is a bit different. And I just use a universal needle, nothing fancy. It's just the universal one. I don't have to change it out too often, but sometimes when I sew through something thick, which is actually exactly what we're going to do, the chances of the needle snapping increase. So we'll see what happens. I'm trying to thread my thread through the needle. It's not, there we go. It's going through now. And I also have a white bobbin. And as far as the stitch goes, I have it on the longest running stitch. So my machine has a few different lengths of running stitch. I'm using the largest one. Okay, I need to make sure my pedal touches the floor to use this. So let's try here. And I am going to attempt to stitch over the stars over the pencil marks. That's going to be my goal. We'll see how this goes. Oh, let me just show you real quick. On my example, the one that we're scrap lifting, I've done a bunch of circles, a bunch of really wonky circles. So this is going to, I'm just going to try and repeat that. All right, I'm going to try and start in between my yellow and black star. And I really am having to, these stars are just gonna fall off, I think. My adhesive was way too temporary. I'm going to bring my needle down and just try and stitch through. I don't think it wants to do that. Oh boy, oh, my needle just came out. See? Should have attempted this beforehand. I might not be stitching in the end, friends. I might have to do that off camera. And this is what happens trying to stitch through super thick things. I'm gonna attempt it one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'll just have to do it later. Why isn't my needle going back in? There we go. I'm gonna try and wind it real tight. Thread it one more time. Another option could be hand stitching through, but that's another thing that could potentially be rough on our hands because the papers are so thick. Okay, let me try this one more time, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. We can continue on. But let me try. Come on, I know you want to. No, it's not working. It's pulling my needle out. All right, well, this was a fail. But now how do I get this out? Somehow I was able to do this a few years ago. So I'll just have to try it again. Okay, now my page is stuck in my sewing machine. Just a second. Grab my needle out. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this a different way. Something that might help. I think my stars are just too thick. So what I might end up doing, friends, but it would take a while to do each one, and I just don't have the time right now, but I might go ahead and flatten all of my stars with the glue like I was talking about. So adding glue into the points, into the middle. Since liquid glue takes a little bit of time to dry, but what I'm going to do is add glue into the middle. I'm going to add some glue into the points to flatten my stars, and then I think it'll have an easier time in the sewing machine. So this is something I should have done beforehand, but we live and learn. All is good. C'est la vie, right? So press this star until it's a little flatter. But yeah, because the star is so thick, the papers are so thick, it might take some extra time for these to dry. So that's something that I'll have to do off camera. But we can finish up with our photo and embellishments. Let me show you what I plan to do. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to dry. So we'll put this back here and we'll pretend that our stars are stitched down. All good, right? All right, let me center this and we will continue on our merry way. So I am using a 4x5" photo. This is of Fox and Jane at Home Depot last year when they set out all of their Halloween decor to purchase. So I printed this at home. I just use Adobe Photoshop, so I drag and drop. And when I print it and trim it out, I just leave a white border. So let me attach my photo. I'm going to tuck it into the left side of the stars, following along with our sketch. Let me move that over so we can see our sketch like this. Add my photo at a slight angle, a little bit towards the top so that I have some room for journaling below, and press it in place like this. And now we get to go through Tricks and Treats and find lots of cute things. So I just brought in an assortment of some of the die cuts. There are 2 packages of die cuts in Tricks and Treats. There are like floral and Halloween icons, and then there's one that has more journaling spots and frames. So I have grabbed this colorful pumpkin, which I love how it's going to bring out all of the colors in the photo and all of the colors of the stars. So like the pink and the yellow and the purple. And like when you go into stores and you're shopping for Halloween, not everything is black and orange. So that's why I really love how we did this collection with all the colors. Oh, Sally says she's going to the Spooky Boo event soon. That's with Shara Crane in Vermont. She's going to make these for everyone in Halloween paper and put them on a straw. Oh my goodness, that's such a cute idea. You have to share pics, I demand. All right, I'm going to put this at the bottom right-hand corner of my photo. You can see I've got some empty space down here, so I'm not covering up anything too important. From the cardstock stickers, I'm starting with my larger embellishments first. So those pumpkins are quite large. And then I want this cauldron with the stack of books. I'm going to tuck this one right behind. I like how this just adds to like all of the Halloween festivities. There is a vellum spider web with a spider. So this one I'm going to tuck up underneath. So just following the sketch, right? The sketch has these round embellishments. On the page that we're scrap lifting, I didn't really know how to convey these embellishments because I didn't want to use scissors or a paint palette. So it's up to interpretation what these round embellishments mean on the sketch. For me, it means pumpkins and a cauldron and a spider web. So just treat that as fun, funky embellishments to go along with the page. My title is over here on the left-hand side. I am going to do kind of 2 titles. So this one says Boo Crew. This is a purple tag die cut. And then from the foam stickers, there is one that says Wickedly Cute, which they sure are. And I want to overlap this at the bottom of the tag, overlapping the photo. Remember, everything is very dimensional right now. These are sticking off my page like a good 3/4 of an inch. But I do plan to somehow flatten these out, whether with glue and or machine stitching so that they'll fit into a page protector. Okay, there is a purple spotted tab die cut, which you fold in half. So here I can slide it onto my photo, the top edge of my photo, and here's where I can stamp the date. I like to add the date somewhere on my pages because I file my pages away chronologically. So it's so helpful when I'm sorting them chronologically to have that date somewhere. So I try and be mindful, try and be better because I'm not always so good at it, but adding the date as I'm making the page. And then I want to add things to the wreath to enhance it and really bring it to life. So starting with a couple larger embellishments like a ghost. Add a ghost up here. Add a skull down here. And then maybe a trio of bats. So these are all die cuts. These are all found throughout those 2 packages of die cuts. So we'll create a visual triangle with bats around the wreath, like that. This is one of those layouts where it's like, when do I stop? Because there are so many cute things throughout this collection. I just want to add them all. From the foam stickers, since stars is kind of the name of the game, we can add all the stars to enhance that star theme. So there are iridescent stars, there are a couple colorful stars. So there's a teal one, which kind of just creates a texture because my background is the exact same color. Welcome, Kelly. There's a little spider, so maybe we'll have the spider dangling down. And then a few more stars. Since these ones are shiny, we can create a visual triangle with the 3 holographic shiny stars. So 1, 2, 3, and then a pop of yellow. So we have a yellow star up here, so we can balance with a yellow star maybe down here. When I'm creating a page like this, let me move this over so we can see and my little face isn't in the way. I typically put things on the page, kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm not adding any adhesive, and so I can move things around. Even these little foam pieces, even though they're stickers, I'm not pressing them down really hard so that I'm able to move them around the page in case I change my mind. What else? There's so many cute things. From the mini puffy stickers, I bet you could add this entire sheet onto this wreath, right? I mean, you could add a flower, a yellow flower, so we can kind of finish a visual triangle of yellow. We could add little pumpkins throughout the wreath. So pink, we've got a pink star here. We can add a pink pumpkin up here. Candy corn, and it'll be easier, I think, to embellish once I have my stars in place, once they're really stuck down. But this is what I plan to do, is add all of these cute little embellishments. So I started with the large stars, added my medium-sized embellishments. I think I want some more balance. I might move this one up here. And then finish with the tiny things like the little foam stickers, the mini puffy stickers, and on the enamel dots, there are stars. So I probably will add this entire package, well, the entire rows, both rows of these little enamel dot stars. So my apologies that this didn't quite go as planned as far as finishing it up, but you can see it's coming together and we're following the sketch. We followed the sketch pretty well. But I do need to take some time off camera to get my stars set, and I will definitely share a finished photo in my Happy Scrappy Place Facebook group, along with the sketch and everything so that you can play along. The last step is adding my journaling. So on my original layout, I have the journaling right here below the photo and the date stamped. Look at me go. So I plan to add my journaling in the same spot. So I'll use a black pen and draw lines. You could also do printed journaling strips. And then I do want to stamp the date on here. But you get the gist. This is what our layout is basically going to look like in the end. Let me bring in the other page so we can see so we can compare and contrast. I will zoom out so we can see. Let me turn on autofocus. zoom out. Paige, will you be doing a tutorial or a kit for the shaker folder? So G actually made that. G posted in my Facebook group a really cute folio that she made to hold collections. So I'm sure she's always up for a collaboration. She is, hold on. I'm going to flip the camera back towards me in just a sec. I would love to continue talking about that though, Sally. But let me just wrap this up so that if you have to leave, you can. But here, same design concept, same repetition of stars, but made with two different collections. This was made with my whimsical collection, and this one was made with tricks and treats. So that's the layout. If you have to go now, I totally understand. I'm gonna flip the camera back towards my face, although that face camera is a little bit choppy, but that's okay. Here we are. Hello, friends. So G, she is the one who makes all of my sequin albums. She lives down in Brazil, and she's always up for collaborations. So speaking of the sequin albums, I do have some pre-orders for her sequin albums in my shop. We have a fun 6x8 pastel Disney, so you can see all of these really cute pastel. There's like Mickey heads, but I love that it's pastel instead of the black and red and yellow. Black, red, and yellow, those seem to be like the Disney colors that everybody uses, but when you're walking around Disneyland, it's very, very pastel. So we have this one in my shop, and links to my shop are in the description. We have a traditional Christmas 6x8. So it's got green and red and white. And then we have these really fun tree-shaped ones, which will come with a template for making tree-shaped pages, the digital download. Not the physical, but it'll come with a digital download so you can print or have a machine cut these. So there's a fun tree shape. It's so large, you're going to be able to fit all of your December memories. And then we have a winter Christmas tree. So this could work for January when it's snowy, or I was looking at the wrong camera. I'm sorry. I wonder if those were even in view. Winter tree. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do my December daily in, but I know it will be one of those trees. Would you be able to bring out origami paper to match your collections? Ooh, that's a good question. I'll have to ask. That'd be really cool to have like the thinner paper to do more origami like this, because I love doing origami shapes on my pages. Just a couple more things I wanted to talk about. I know I've brought this in for my last few Make With Me Mondays, but this is the exclusive to my in-person 4th of July event next year. I am opening up spots virtually, so if you want to attend from home and get this kit with this exclusive album, just send me a message. So I have a few spots to attend virtually with this 4th of July kit. And one more album from G. She's amazing. She's so great to work with. I have 4 of these little 4x4 mini albums left in my shop. 2 more things in my shop that I wanted to shout out. So this was my class, my virtual class that I released last month. And the light pink acrylic covers sold out. They're shiny. However, we have these really pretty mint, I can't grab them, really pretty mint green ones. And they do come with a protective backing. So I've had a couple people email me and say I sent them the wrong ones, but these are just a protective paper layer that need to be trimmed off. And so this is actually the exact same color pink as my album that we created, only it's matte instead of shiny, which I actually prefer. It's a lot easier to photograph things that are matte instead of shiny. So I've got those in my shop. And then one last thing I wanted to shout out, not in my shop, but in Color Cast Design. So this is a mini album that I did a class for a few years ago. It's a 3D globe. So obviously the acrylic stand is essential for creating this mini album. And Jessica from Color Cast Designs has opened up pre-orders again for this. So I'm not sure if I left the link to that in the description, but if you are interested and you can't find it, just send me a message. And I know I keep saying it's the last thing, but that's all the stuff in my shop. But I do want to talk about in-person events really quick. I have 3 upcoming Tricks and Treats, Tricks and Treats weekend, which you'll be able to get the entire collection, 3 of each pattern paper, which are impossible to find. We've gone through the wait list, so everybody who wanted to join is on there. But if you are still interested in joining, even just purchasing to get the kit and do the classes on your own, do send me a message. Spring Fling Weekend, which is an in-person event happening in Omaha, Nebraska next March. That has also sold out, so we'll be starting the wait list. And then Crafting Through the Holidays is happening a year from now in October with me teaching Halloween, Lael Conkar teaching Thanksgiving, Grateful, and Vicki Booten teaching Christmas. That event has also sold out, but they're starting a wait list. So chances of getting into these events are pretty good. You just need to get on those wait lists. All right, friends, this was really fun to scrap with you. I need to finish my page once I get back from the oral surgeon. Hopefully he has some good news for me. Maybe everything is good with the MRI and I don't need anything, because like I said, I'm doing hormone therapy and it has changed my life. I am basically headache free. I went from having them every single day, all day long, to none. And I'm just like so happy. So thank you so much, friends, for being here for my October version of Make With Me Monday. I haven't planned when I'm going to do the November one yet, but I would love to have you there. I just want to see something. I want to see on my phone. Everything's good. But if you ever have questions about anything, just look on socials. I'm best at answering emails. If it's in my inbox, I see it and can answer. DMs are harder. But I hope you have a happy Halloween, and I will see you again next month. Thank you so much, friends. I cannot wait to see your pages made with these origami stars. All right. Have a happy scrappy day, friends. I'm gonna end this and see you again real soon.